It's been said, real men don't eat quiche.
Real men can't even spell quiche.
Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for coming back for another. Today we're gonna be doing some quiche. Now we're gonna do quiche two different ways. One out on the smoker, and if you don't have a smoker, don't worry about it. We're gonna do another one in the oven right there. So quiche is like a hash. It's like a mixture of anything. You got leftovers in the fridge, you got stuff from the night before, a couple days ago. Just mix it all together and throw it in. It's like just like a big breakfast medley that can be eaten for lunch and dinner as well. What I'm gonna do, I've got some brisket left over from the other day. So I'm gonna throw some flat and some point together. Also, I pulled out some smoked pulled pork that we vacuum sealed. This is all thawed up. I wanna really bring the flavors out in these. So in one skillet, I'm gonna start doing my brisket with some garlic, onions, mushrooms. In another skillet, I'm gonna do the pulled pork with also garlic, mushrooms, and onions. I wanna get the flavors of this stuff going first. And then we'll add it in with our egg and our cream and our cheese mixture. We've also got some spinach, just some regular frozen spinach. You can do fresh spinach if you want. You don't have to do spinach. You can do kale or whatever. You can do baby greens, whatever, anything. But we're gonna go with some spinach. I just use the frozen spinach. It's thawed. We'll strain it out over the sink and get some in there. Also, I'll drop all the ingredients and the portions and the amounts in the description below. Really easy to follow along. All right, let's get some brisket out. Anytime I'm using brisket, I like to go with equal parts point and flat. That way I don't run out of one before the other. All right, I'm just gonna get a rough cut on these things. All right, that's more than enough brisket for what we're gonna need, but don't worry. After you cook this up with the garlic, onions, and mushrooms, if it won't all fit in your pie, in your dish, somebody will eat it. It's that good. All right, let's get some of that smoked pulled pork. Probably about half of this will do. And this is already shredded or pulled. We don't really need to do anything, but just to kind of loosen it up, I'm just gonna run my knife through this. All right, keeping the livestock separated. All right, looks like our skillet's about ready. Let's get our pulled pork on one side and our brisket on the other. All right, so while our meat for the filling is getting going, we want to roll out some pastry crust here. This is just a generic pre-made. I've got it from the refrigerated section in my local grocery store. I want to get it room temperature and then just unroll it nice and easy. Unroll it and gently set it in there. Nice and easy. Okay, that's one. And nice and easy. This one's left-handed. All right, there we have two pie crusts and our dishes ready to go. Now what we want to do is pre-bake these. I'm gonna put a little butter on the insides of these, and the one that's gonna be smoked, we're gonna bake it in the smoker. The one that's gonna be just regular in the oven, we're gonna bake that one in the oven. All right. About time to get some vegetables chopped up for our filling. Okay. Again, I'm just gonna rough cut these. Just about like that. All right. Since these things take a little bit longer to cook, we're gonna get these in the pan right now. All right, we're about a cup of onions for each skillet. Woo, getting after it. Let's get some mushrooms chopped up. All right, let's get these mushrooms in. All right, again, about half and half of mushrooms. And let's go ahead and get that garlic out of the way for good measure. And about half over here. And about half over there. This should be 1 clove of garlic each. Yeah, this is all we want to do. Want those onions just to get a little translucent. Get that garlic smelling right. And good enough to pull off. All right, so I melted up some butter. This little dish right here. All I want to do now is just kind of paint the insides of this pie crust. It's going to help kind of seal it off a little bit. We're going to bake this, again, like we said before, it's kind of like parboiling ribs. Please don't do that. But we want to bake this crust, get it set up and kind of crispy. And putting a little bit of butter on the inside of this is just going to help create a seal so that when we put our egg and cream mixture in, it doesn't get all soggy and mushy. We'll bake this in first. Get a nice impermeable layer. All right, looks good. Okay, one's gonna bake on the smoker for 15 minutes, the other one's gonna bake in the oven for 15 minutes. All right, one for the oven, and one for the smoker. Woo. The crusts are in. I'm going to check them after 10 minutes just because I want to make sure 450 is pretty high. That's what it says to pre-bake them at, but I just 10 minutes we'll check them at 10. Our meat and vegetable filling, that got done. It got to where we wanted to. I removed that from the heat. Also, that frozen spinach, went ahead and just strained it out. Nothing fancy, just strained it out by hand. One little frozen prepackaged deal is about a cup after you strain the water off of it. Time to grate up some cheese and mix up some eggs and cream. Okay, so what I forgot to do is poke some holes in the crust here. You can kind of see it rising up. And boy, coming late to the party, the damage might already be done. All right, we got to go poke some holes in the one in the smoker as well. Okay, so for our cheese, I'm gonna go with a smoky cheddar just to enhance that smoke flavor, and I've got some Monterey Jack too I want to blend in. Well, let's check our crusts. Yes, I hear you, I hear you. All right, first look, oh yeah, starting to get a little touch of the golden. I think that's perfect. I like this one, we're gonna pull it. Let's go check the one on the smoker. All right. Looks like we got a little burnage right there. Maybe the butter didn't like that much heat. You know, I'm gonna let this one go a little bit longer. Not quite there. All right, let's check it one more time. This should be it. Not quite yet. All right, third time's the charm maybe. Now I'm starting to see a little bit of what I like. Yep, firmed up. A little bit of golden brown. That's probably where we had some butter pooled up and it just burned. All right, let's get it off. All right, there they are. Meat and vegetable filling in the back. Some pie crust pre-baked in the front. Got some cheese. We'll finish grating up and then we'll mix up some eggs and cream. Get this whole thing going, get them back in the oven. All right, and then we'll finish it off with about 2 cups of our jack cheese. So in all, we've got about 2 cups of the smoky cheddar, and then about 2 cups of the jack. All right, after pre-baking those crusts, we've got the smoker and the oven back down to earth. We're at 350. And we're gonna do those at 350 for about 45 minutes. I know from cooking quiche before, I know what to expect out of my oven on the inside of the house, but that smoker on the outside, you know, I'm gonna watch that. I'm not really certain that might take a little longer. It took longer to pre-bake that crust out there, so we're gonna keep an eye on that one. Pretty sure I'm gonna get consistent results inside the house. So now it's time to start combining our eggs and our cream. What we're gonna actually end up using is 8 whole eggs, 1.5 cups of heavy cream, about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I wanna do about the same 1/2 teaspoon, maybe a little more, of fresh ground pepper. We're gonna get about a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Gonna mix all this together. And now's the time to add the spinach. Now with the spinach, I'm gonna use a fork and just kind of make sure I break it up and get it all apart and get it all mixed up really well. All right, eggs, straight from the backyard, straight from the chicken's egg layer. And here goes the cream. This little gadget, by the way, is pretty cool. My wife picked this up for me. I'll leave a link to where you can find this on Amazon in the description box below, along with the rest of the recipe and all the ingredients that we use in the portions and everything. But this little thing is pretty neat. It's a spice grinder. I'm using it for pepper right now, but you can put just about anything in here. Nutmeg. I mean, you can put ginger in this thing and slice off some ginger. Pretty cool. And mix this up. Okay, time for the spinach. Now, another reason I'm using a fork instead of the whisk is because it's so fibrous, I don't want the spinach to get locked up inside the whisk. Fork's a little more spinach friendly. All right, I think we've got a good amount of filling here. Let's get those pie dishes over here and start our layering. All right, bring our cheese back in here. I'm gonna get a little layer of cheese on the bottom first. A little bit of each. Okay, meat filling. Now this one is the pulled pork and veggies. We'll save some for the top. And then here we have the brisket. Again, we'll save a little. Okay, there's no easy way to do this. Sometimes you just get sloppy. Let's hope we don't get too sloppy. And I'm just gonna pour some of this in, just like that. Over the top, I wanna make sure I save enough for this side. Oh yeah, we need a little more egg and cream mixture. Underestimated, but it's a journey. Follow along. All right, back to it. That's a little more like it. There we go. I kind of drowned my crust. During the pre-bake on the crust, it kind of drew away from the top. I didn't pinch it up tight enough, I guess, or baking is not my forte. I understand it's an exact science, and if you do something wrong, man, it'll wreck your day. We're gonna get a little more meat filling on the top, and the brisket over here, and last of the pulled pork over here. Top it with a little bit more cheese. All right, these bad boys are ready to go. One in the house, one on the smoker. All right, there we go. Second one, just like that. Here we go. At first glance, boy, I'm not sure we're there. Let's give it the old toothpick test. Right in the center. Might be some of the oil from the cheese, but I'll tell you what, looking like we're done, but I mean, that's pretty firm. That's pretty good. It's coming out pretty clean, except just a little bit of oil maybe. And I think that oil's from the cheese, like I said. I'll tell you what, I think this is good. We're gonna pull this one, let it start cooling off. We're gonna go check the one out in the smoker. I'm a little more concerned about that one. I'll tell you what, that's looking pretty darn good. Let's give the toothpick test. Pretty darn clean there. Pretty clean there. I'll tell you what, I think 45 minutes on the money was perfect for this because we're already starting to get a little golden brown right around here. I don't want any more than that. I think we're done. Let's get it inside. Man, all right, here we go. These things are out. It's time for the taste test. So I actually had to put in some toothpicks on the one that came out of the smoker. This is the brisket. This is the pulled pork. This one was in the oven for 45 minutes at 350 degrees. This one was in the Pit Boss Pro Vertical Series. Some people call it the copper top. Anyhow, man, this thing is just amazing how awesome these things came out. I didn't think this one was gonna come out that well. I wanna cut into this one first. Ready for a taste test?
I am.
Okay, waiting patiently. All right, just get this. Oh man, I love the look on the inside of this. Man, man, look at that. That is just, it's still steaming. I don't know if you can see the steam. That is layered, done all the way
I'm
through.
gonna let that one cool for a minute.
Perfect. A little bit fell out here. That's that pulled pork.
Wow, real men do eat quiche.
That'll do it. That was awesome. You had that planned.
I did. You're missing every cue, and I'm like, and rejected, and shut down.
Mm.